Good evening. Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Tom here for another away fan special show. Obviously, after the win at Everton yesterday, we now build up to the League Cup tie against Newport County. I was there at Stockport County in the second round. Oh, what can you say? A 0-0 all the way, won on penalties, and the fans were not happy that night. The change of form since we beat Forest 4-0 at the King Power Stadium the beginning of October, as the form has changed. We now play Newport probably at the right time, and hopefully with some fresh faces coming in and just freshening the team up. Tonight I'm joined by Ollie from the Amber Army, and he can tell me all about Newport County and the changes. Good evening, Ollie. How are you, sir?
Evening, Tom. Thanks for having me on, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. We were talking backstage beforehand, and I was saying to you about the last time we played Newport was in the FA Cup tie, and yes, I was at your ground when you beat us 2-1. Mr. Albright.
Yeah, 2019, I remember it well.
Copper was in charge, and it rained and it was wet that night. But a lot has changed since then. We've had some highs, some lows as Leicester fans. Same for you boys as well. At the moment, though, you are currently in League Two. You sit 18th in division, played 17, won 4, drawn 4, lost 9, a goal difference of -5 with 16 points. So tell us about your season so far and what you feel is going to happen on Tuesday night when you boys come to the King Power Stadium.
Yeah. The stats and the games played tells a little bit of a different story. Started the season with manager James Rowbury. It was his first managerial job, so a little bit of inexperience there. Wasn't really getting the right results, kind of lost the dressing room a bit, so he was fired just under 2 months ago now. We've brought in Graham Coughlin, who's had spells at Bristol Rovers and Mansfield, just come out of Sheffield United's under-23 setup. He's a very defensive-minded coach. He's kind of tightened us up at the back. He's got us playing a little bit better, playing a bit more free-flowing football. He's been in charge of 4 games, drawn 2 and won 2, so we've not lost a game yet. I think when you talk about Newport County, especially in cup competitions, you always think of the big cup games, the Leicesters, almost beating Newcastle, beating Brighton, teams like that. It feels like we're a bit of a different team in the League Cup, especially this season. First round we beat Luton away. Second round we beat Portsmouth at home. So we're more than capable of taking out the team who were a bit higher than us up in the EFL pyramid.
Obviously, you come up against a Premiership team, and we're not going to say anything more than that because we saw what happened last time. But are you coming up to the game? How many fans are you expecting to bring up to the King Power on Tuesday night?
I'm not coming up to the game personally because midweek and it's a little bit of a travel. I know we've sold just over 1,000 tickets. Probably might get a few going up on the day, so probably 1,200, which is a pretty good turnout for us.
That's a cracking amount of fans coming up on a Tuesday night. It's not a short trip either, It's
no.
3 and a bit half hours to come up to us. So fair play to that. Obviously, you've had your woes in League Two, and you've been there for a few years. You've also made the playoffs a few times over the last few years as well. So we boys can challenge in that division. What do you think your manager will set up formation-wise going into this game? And what have you been playing formation-wise?
The formation we kind of stick with is the 5-3-2. So we've had the same lineup actually for the last 4 games. The 4 games that this new manager Graham Coughlin's managed, so you can probably expect the same team that we've played, the same formation, 5-3-2. A bit of a flat midfield and then 2 up front. If I had to pick out a player for you to look out for, it's probably Will Evans. He was a left winger for the Welsh Premier League side Bala, but he's come in to County as a striker. Unreal work rate, will run practically across the pitch, left side, right side, will put constant pressure on the centre-backs, on the goalkeeper, gets in brilliant positions to score the goals, and he's an absolute workhorse. He'll just run for the full 90 minutes.
So what's you said you played the same team or selected the same team for the last 4 games. What's that team selection been then for you boys?
So in goals, we'll have most likely Joe Day. Left wing back will be Adam Lewis, who's on loan from Liverpool. 3 centre backs are Priestley Farquharson, James Clark, and Mickey Demetriou, with Cameron Norman on the right as a wing back. 3 midfielders will be Scott Bennett, Nathan Mariah Welsh, and James Waite, and then the front 2 of Omar Bogle and Will Evans.
I was going to say, it's always interesting when you say you got a lad on loan from Liverpool. How's he done for you? Because we all know the loan system can be good. It can also be, can be trashed, and you get some players coming who aren't bothered about it and don't really want to make a name for themselves in the lower division. How's the young lad done for you on loan from Liverpool?
He's been really well. I think County have been quite blessed with loans and how we use the loan system. I think the big name will be Ben White, who he played for us a few seasons ago back when he was at Brighton, and he's obviously gone on to play for Arsenal in England. Adam Lewis has been amazing over the last 5 games. He's kind of found his feet now a bit. He's a wing back who's a bit more attacking minded, will run down that left flank and get a few crosses in the box. He's okay defensively, but it's probably where we're most vulnerable. But what happens is we'll have a centre-back, usually Mickey Demetriou, who will come out to the left a bit, play a bit of a left-back sort of role and just allowing that defensive cover for him to go forwards. But the loans we've brought in, another one is Nathan Mariah Welsh, who's come in from loan from Bournemouth, who's a bit of an all-round midfielder, really. He can play defensive, he can play a bit attacking. He really makes our lineup something special, gives us a lot of versatility, and we're not as one-dimensional as we have been in previous years.
So obviously Leicester coming into this game, on the back of a couple of very good results. Obviously the Man City one was unlucky to take and losing 1-0 to Sumo's team gets absolutely hammered. Leicester coming into this game, where would you say they've got to look at your weaknesses? Where do you think they can get at? Because obviously Leicester are going to make a lot of changes into the game. I predict that we'll probably give Daniel Everson, the Danish young goalkeeper, a run. Say young, he's 25. He came out, he was on loan at Preston. He was their player of the season. He'll probably come into the team. I'd probably see Vestergaard get a run out. I think you'll see probably Daniel Amati keep his place, maybe Wow Faz. I don't think he'll make some changes, but I still think you'll see a solid Leicester lineup going into this game. Albrighton will probably play again, hopefully not giving a penalty within the last 10 minutes of the game. But where do you think Leicester can get at you boys? Because we all know against lower opposition, every time you play them, it can go either one way in my view. One, you go over them, you steamroller them, you give them a tanking. Or 2, that lower league comes in and gives you a game and a half, and you're sitting there in the stands going, well, I weren't expecting this tonight, boys, the way we've been playing. Do you think Leicester can get at you, or where's the weakness in your side?
Leicester are a very capable team. Obviously, you mentioned that FA Cup game a few years ago and things like that, but you've also got to remember that Leicester are a Premier League side, and even if you do field a rotated side, they're still a fairly capable Premier League Championship side. So whilst you do have to be wary of Newport and their history in cup competitions, you do have to sort of back Leicester a little bit. The one place that Leicester will probably get us is when we're in possession, when we're moving up the pitch, the centre-backs will move forward a bit, kind of resting on the halfway line. So if you can get the ball in the air, or if you've got a pacey striker or a few pacey players, you can run right through the defence. It happened a few times yesterday when we played Colchester in the FA Cup. You could see the centre-backs just moving forwards, and the ball would get pinged over, and a Colchester striker would run through, and they'd have a one-on-one with the keeper. So if you can just get the positioning right, win the ball back at the right time, and kind of play a forward pass or pass it to someone who's got a little bit of pace, who can take on a centre-back, you can very easily bypass that back line.
Most teams who come down to King Power, and I think Leicester fans are used to it now, come down and park the bus. They sit deep. They will not. They try and hold their defensive shape, and then they try and counter-attack. Do you see Newport changing their game plan, or do you think that you boys are set how you play and you'll stick to it, or do you think you'll come and maybe drop 10, 15 yards deeper than you'd normally play against other teams?
I'm not too sure, because obviously we're still early days with the new manager, Graham Coughlin, but he seems he's very set in his ways, and he will try and make Leicester react to how Newport County want to play, rather than changing our setup to accommodate how you want to play. So you can kind of expect, passing around the midfield, passing and moving, lots of counter pressing, and a real urgency to win the ball back as soon as we lose it. So it's going to be a very interesting game, because we're not going to be that team who comes to the King Power and kind of sits back and tries to play out for a draw and take it to penalties. We'll probably go out there and give you a game.
Fair play. One final question. What do you think the score is going to be on Tuesday night?
Obviously, you want to back your own team and say you're going to win a match, but I'm going to edge it out just to Leicester 2-1. I think we've played Saturday, Tuesday now for the last 3 weeks. We've got a bit of a smaller squad, a squad that we're kind of set on with the personnel and the lineup. So a few tired legs might be getting in there, but I'll give it to Leicester 2-1.
Fair play. There's not many people come on here and say that. So fair play. Ollie, thank you for joining us tonight, mate. Where can people follow you for all your podcasts and stuff?
Best place to find us is on Twitter at Amber Army Lcfc, the Amber Army on YouTube, Amber Army Official on Instagram. We've got different handles for all the different platforms, but if you just search up the Amber Army on Twitter, it'll come up. That's
great. Thanks for joining us tonight, Ollie. Much appreciated, mate.
And then nice one, mate. Best of luck for Tuesday.
You too, bud. Thanks, bud. Bye-bye. And there we go, another away fan special. As we say, massive game in some ways. We want to keep this form and winning momentum going forward. Obviously, Jamie is over from the Foxy Arms from Alcudia. He is in the UK. He will be at the ground on Monday night, on Tuesday night. I will be there too. Come and join us. We always sit outside the Blues Bar. We'll keep calling it the Blues Bar. Come and have a pint. Come and have a chat. We're always there to have a laugh and a joke. I'll have another away fan shout on Thursday night as we build up to our final Premiership game before the World Cup against West Ham. Well, what can you say more? They lost today to Crystal Palace 2-1. It gives you hope to go into the London Stadium that Leicester can go and get another win and push themselves further up. For now, thanks for joining us. Keep it all Leicester Fan TV, and good night.